Okay, so rolling. Action.
Hi, welcome. I'm going to read a brief excerpt from a news article about the beheading that took place in France very recently. And what I read, I will then have a little chat to camera about, as it were. So this is in the politics section of Bloomberg. Anybody can find it via the link that will be in the description box even. So Paris. A suspect shot dead by police after the beheading of a history teacher near Paris was an 18-year-old Chechen refugee, unknown to intelligence officers, who posted a grisly claim of responsibility on social media minutes after the attack, officials have said on Saturday. France's anti-terrorism prosecutor's office said authorities investigating the killing of Samuel Paty in Conflans-en-Honorine on Friday arrested 9 suspects, including the teen's grandfather, parents, and 17-year-old brother. Paty had discussed caricatures of Islam's prophet Muhammad with his class, leading to threats, police officials have reported. Islam prohibits, for anybody who doesn't know, images of the prophet, asserting that they lead to idolatry. The officials could not be named because they were not authorized to discuss ongoing investigations. So French anti-terrorism prosecutor Jean-François Ricard said an investigation for murder with a suspected terrorist motive had been opened. Ricard told reporters that the Moscow-born suspect, who had been granted a 10-year residency in France as a refugee in March, was armed with a knife and an airsoft gun which fires plastic bullets. His half-sister joined the Islamic State group in Syria, so IS, in 2014, Ricard said. He didn't give her name, and it's not clear where she is at the time of writing. The prosecutor said a text claiming responsibility and a photograph of the victim were found on the suspect's phone. He also confirmed that a Twitter account under the name Abdullah A belonged to the suspect. It posted a photo of the decapitated head minutes after the attack, along with a message, "I have executed one of the dogs from hell who dared to put Mohammed down." Ricard said the suspect had been seen at the school asking students about the teacher, and the headmaster had received several threatening phone calls. So mourners marched near the school in solidarity Saturday, holding signs that read, "I am a teacher," which are clear echoes to Je suis Charlie. "We'll pick ourselves up together thanks to our spirit of solidarity," said Laurent Brosse, mayor of Conflans-Sainte-Honorine. A police official has said that the suspect was shot dead about 600 metres or yards from where Paty died. Police opened fire after he failed to respond to orders to put down his arms and acted in a threatening manner. The official could not be named because of ongoing investigations. The French president, Emmanuel Macron, went to the school on Friday night to denounce what he called an Islamist terror attack. He urged the nation to stand united against extremism. One of our compatriots was murdered today because he taught the freedom of expression, the freedom to believe or not to believe, said Macron. The presidential Elysee Palace announced that there will be a national ceremony at a future date in homage to the slain teacher. So, and this goes on, basically Chechnya, where the guy had received asylum from, is predominantly Muslim, Russian Republic in the North Caucasus. 2 wars in the 90s triggered a wave of emigration, with many Chechens heading for Western Europe. France has offered asylum to many Chechens since the Russian military waged war against Islamist separatists in Chechnya in the 90s and early 2000s. So let me just see if there's anything else of note. Again, I'll tell you that this is going to be in the description box, the link. So what I'd like to say about this is that regardless of the victim's personal faith, and I have no idea what it is at this time, I haven't been able to find out because that's surely not the most important part, this still broadly comes under the heading of persecution, and the link that I draw is Islamist terror attacks, basically, although I openly admit and speak about non-theocratic terrorism, like, godlessness and atheism. Communism, you may or may not know, is the number one, it holds the number 1 spot in the top 50 countries for the persecution of Christians alone. And that's not to say that the other 4 in the top 5 are not Islamic, because they actually are. They're Asia and Africa in origin, those countries. So basically, whether or not the guy was a Christian, it is still persecution by a very small group of people, to be fair. Not all Muslims, condemn or endorse these actions, and tend to view them as the actions of lone wolves and mentally ill people, and not my prophet kind of thing, not in the name of their religion. However, we know that the Quran does tell people to fight those who believe not in Allah, nor the last day, nor the religion of truth. And there are also numerous verses, I can post some of them, which talk about smiting unbelievers, fighting them until there is no longer fitna. Although, of course, you may or may not be aware that Allah himself says to Jesus in the form of Isa, I will make those who follow you superior until the day of judgment, at which time he will clear up the discrepancies that have arisen between them. That indicates clearly that there will be no time before Judgment Day when there is no more fitna, which means unbelief in the one true God, who I assert is Yahweh. I've gone off topic slightly. The point is, please do pray for France as a whole. I will try to find the image. I've seen an image of the instances of church destruction and vandalism and damage that are being done across France. So many of you may remember Notre Dame. That was absolutely awful, and an iconic image for sure that won't be forgotten quickly by France's or the world's Christians. But I would say to you that if you look at now, today, a current map of France with instances of church vandalism and desecration highlighted in red dots, it looks pretty much like someone with German measles or chicken pox. It's covered. It's literally many churches, and you may or may not know that within jizya-paying Christian communities around the world, churches are left undamaged, but they're unable to be repaired. That's part of the arrangement, as it were. So if they are accidentally damaged, then they fall into disrepair and are no longer viable for use to worship the one true God, who is, again, Yahweh and Jesus Christ. So, on that note, please do pray for France. Pray for the Christians in France, and also pray for those who feel that their freedom of expression is being restricted by a censorial religion and adherence, however extreme, because we know the guy's sister has joined IS, which is pretty extreme, and IS certainly do use specific Quran verses to glorify their cause and to lend credence to it. So it's not just lone wolves in groups and mental illness. Please do pray for them. Pray for IS, actually. Pray for potentially terroristic individuals from whichever background or faith they may be, that God might remove the scales from their eyes, give them a clear spiritual discernment, indwell them, basically. Let them come to the Lord Jesus Christ, and all will be forgiven. That's not to say commit the terror attack first in the hope of salvation, because nobody knows the hour. And also, we don't have a set time here. We can be called back at any moment, and it's where you're going to be called to. And please do try to ensure that on Judgment Day you're not kneeling in terror. Rather, you're kneeling in the complete assurance of salvation from Christ, which only those who accept the gift primarily can expect, and then those who have not used his teachings falsely and fallen away from him, unfortunately, maybe by trying to adhere to the Mosaic law, for example, as spoken of in Galatians 5. Anyway, please do join me again soon when I'm going to do another video. Please like, share and subscribe. Please come and see us on Discord. The link will also be available. And this t-shirt and others are also available. I don't know if you can see it in the shop. But yeah, I'm just putting it out there because JC SOCO works ever so hard. He's always available to us at the park. Please do pray for him, that his infectious laugh and energetic delivery of the gospel and enabling us to preach the gospel of Christ risen, and also to polemicise his love continues for a long time, because I for one love him, and I'm sure you do too. God bless you, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye.